Western Australia's population and economy are highly reliant on imports and exports. With the population of Perth expected to double by 2050, it is important to prepare now to meet the increasing freight demand. The Westport Task Force is undertaking a holistic assessment of Perth's supply chain with a focus on the port locations at Fremantle, Kwinana and Bunbury. From this analysis, Westport will develop a flexible, integrated and sustainable solution to meet WA's freight, logistics and trade needs for the next 50 to 100 years. In consultation with stakeholders, Westport's project methodology was established. The first stage of this process was to answer the question, what problems are we trying to solve and what opportunities are we trying to capture? Westport's report, What We Have Found So Far, summarises problems and opportunities identified for Fremantle, Kwinana and Bunbury across 5 key strategic areas. Trade task examined the types and amounts of imports and exports handled and how this might change in the future. Port capability investigated the capacities and types of trades handled at each port. Land use and utilities infrastructure analysed how land is planned and what utilities are available. Supply chain investigated the wider road and rail networks and intermodal terminals servicing existing port supply chains. And environmental values were identified. Westport has adopted a working with nature approach to maximise environmental and social outcomes. In Stage 2, Westport will investigate how the identified environmental risks can be avoided, mitigated or offset so that ecosystem health is maintained. It also looks at future options for Fremantle, Kwinana and Bunbury in terms of how containers, bulk goods and passenger vessels can be combined between the 3 ports. Westport identified over 300 possible trade and location combinations and from these created a shortlist of the 8 most feasible options. Option 1 is the current situation: containers, bulk goods and passengers at Fremantle, bulk only at Kwinana, bulk goods and passengers at Bunbury. Option 2 is to optimise containers at Fremantle Port and as numbers increase, share containers between Fremantle and Kwinana. Eventually, all containers transition from Fremantle to Kwinana. Option 3 is similar to Option 2, but instead of transitioning containers from Fremantle to Kwinana, they go to Bunbury and Kwinana remains a bulk-only port. Option 4 is to deindustrialise Fremantle Port, turning it into a passenger port as soon as possible. All containers would join the bulk goods at Kwinana and Bunbury Port remains as is. Option 5 is similar to Option 4, but containers would move to Bunbury as soon as possible. Option 6 is to keep Fremantle Port focused on containers and passengers, while developing a second container facility in Kwinana. Bunbury Port remains as is. Option 7 is to keep Fremantle Port focused on containers and passengers, while developing a second container facility in Bunbury. Kwinana remains as is. Option 8 is to keep containers only at Fremantle for the long term. For more details about these options, please refer to the Westport What We Have Found So Far report. Visit mysaytransport.wa.gov.au/Westport to provide your input into the Westport strategy.